Some breaking news here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. Dallas has made a roster move, just not the one you guys were hoping for. It is a punter. Bryan Anger has agreed to a one-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys per NFL Network. Now, important note here, which we will discuss more in depth in just a second. The contract details, outside of it being a one-year deal, is not yet known at this particular point. So we don't know how much money, what the guaranteed money is. So I wonder here, is this John Fassel getting his guy as the punter and locking him in that role, or will Anger have to actually compete for this job? Now, as punters go, and you guys know my thoughts on punters, they are barely people, is that he is a good punter. Bryan Anger, since being he was a third-round pick. Imagine ever spending a third-round pick on a punter. Thank you, Jacksonville. Third-round pick, he has consistently been a very to outright great punter in the NFL. Now, he's bounced around from Jacksonville to Tampa, most recently with Houston, cut earlier this offseason, and he's always been able to average around the 45, 46 yards per punt. Relative to the rest of the NFL among punters, these numbers are good. Chris Jones barely approached these numbers in his best year. So from a punter perspective, Bryan Anger objectively is a good punter. He has consistently been one. Yes, he's 32 years old, but if you didn't have Hunter Niswander on this roster, more on that in a second, this would present a very clear upgrade over the recently released Chris Jones. So even though we do not yet know the contract details at this point, grade the move for me. A, B, C, D, or F? Where are you grading this one as it relates to the Cowboys going out and adding a punter? And feel free to grade on a scale, since it is, of course, a punter. Now, my grade is going to be heavily dependent on what the actual contract details are. If there is no guaranteed money, it fits in my previous mantra. Namely, there has never been a bad contract with little to no guaranteed money in NFL history on a one-year deal. I am always going to sign those guys because there's no downside. Worst case, you cut them, right? But I do wonder if this is going to be less of a pure competition, which is good, mind you. Competition is healthy, especially at a less meaningful position. I'm trying to be really nice here, guys. A less meaningful position like punter. Competition is good in that area. However, I wonder if the Cowboys are going to pitch this as it's Greg Zuerlein versus Kai Forbath. The Cowboys and some of the water-carrying media out there told you it's going to be a competition, Forbath versus Zuerlein. It's an open competition. And it literally never was. Because Forbath got cut before camp began because there were smaller roster sizes. And the Cowboys had guaranteed Greg Zuerlein so much money that unless Zuerlein was a disaster, he was going to win the job. So the money involved, the guaranteed money on whatever it comes in for this Bryan Anger contract, that will determine how much of a true competition it ends up being. If there's no guaranteed money, cool, I will not complain. If there is significant guaranteed money, and you hand Bryan Anger the starting job and or pay him a pretty good amount of money, I'm going to be fairly concerned on that one because the whole point of a punter is that you literally never want to use them. You want them to not play for you. And the Cowboys were able to find a dude that I myself and many of you had literally never heard of. It was Hunter Niswander. And he came in and was actually really good among punters. Now, you can see the difference here. Anger had about twice the punts last year compared to Hunter Niswander because, Chris Jones was a thing for some unknown reason for far too long. The average, both pure and net, favor Hunter Niswander. The long favors Bryan Anger, and the inside the 20 favors him as well, although if you double the punts and keep it consistent, it's slightly in favor of Hunter Niswander. So statistically, based on last year, even though I would argue Anger does have a stronger leg, these two punters are nearly identical. They were good last year. So who do you think should be the punter? I go with whichever guy's cheaper, if, of course, they have a similar type of camp. But get your votes in for me. N for Hunter Niswander, A for Bryan Anger. We here at the Cowboys Report always try to keep you guys updated with what's going on around America's team, and sometimes that even includes a punter. Go figure on that one, right? But we got daily videos for you guys, sometimes multiple times a day in terms of the videos. You'll get maybe multiple today even. So if you want all the latest Cowboys news and rumors, and of course, all the draft coverage you could ever want, hit that big red button and subscribe today. If you're watching somewhere else, it's youtube.com/CowboysTV. Don't be afraid to join us here as we begin the approach to 100K subscribers. Let's recap then these updates here on the Dallas Cowboys and the punter side of it. Still no contract details there. Again, I want to emphasize, if there is no guaranteed money, or it's super light, even like DeMonte Casey style, that's fine. There's a very real chance that Anger might be a slight upgrade over Hunter Niswander, even factoring in as good as Niswander was, because there might be some regression. Because I did want competition, much like the Kai Forbath situation last year. I didn't want to just hand the job to Kai Forbath. I wanted to bring in competition. But my level of competition, as it relates to kickers and punters, historically speaking, guys, you can find them on the free agent market for basically free, or an undrafted free agent. These are not positions, especially punter, even more so than kicker, because it's a punter. You do not need to invest significant money. The salary cap is a thing. So why would you pay more than you have to with the Cowboys offense that we anticipate being awesome? Hopefully will be games in which your punter never plays. He doesn't ever step out on the field. And if everything goes according to plan, you don't need him out there, outside of maybe you want to punt it late in the fourth quarter because you're up big. So going super cheap at the punter position, because you can find better ones than, say, Chris Jones, it makes sense to me. So, again, I want to see the money. If it is a little to no guaranteed contract, I will not complain. If they paid Bryan Anger a bunch of money, well, I'm going to be angry. So give me your one-word reaction here to this particular move by the Dallas Cowboys. I walked out of the office filming something else and just went, a punter? That was my lone reaction. So we'll see what your guys' is, but let me know what you think in the comments section.